Okay, now we're going to look at mixing just a really simple 4-channel plane. We'll use my Yak 55 as an example. And we're going to do 4 channels: aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. And then we'll do a 5th channel with a gear switch. I don't have gears on this thing, of course, but you can see I've taped a servo up on top to be a stand-in. So click to the model menu, page over to the mixer screen, and we're going to start off with just a blank screen. Now don't turn on your model at this time because it's not going to get any signal. If you do plug it in,
Telemetry recovered.
That's indicating the motor's saying, the ESC is saying it's not getting a signal. If you have, depending on what kind of ESC you've got, you could be spinning up the motor or something like that. On a related note, always be sure and take your prop off because while you're doing mixing with your radio, because it's not too difficult to make a mistake, power on the prop in a way that might be regrettable. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to select channel 1 and we're going to select the source to be the aileron. Now conveniently, that's the default for this radio configuration. So all we have to do is press exit. Likewise for channel 2, the default is elevator, so we don't have to do anything. 3 is the throttle, and 4 is the rudder. Now if you did want to change the source, you would go down, click enter, and you could either page through, pick the one you like, or you can move the stick. If we move the aileron stick, you see it jumps to aileron. If we move the throttle stick, you see it jumps to throttle, but we want it to be rudder, so we're going to change that back to rudder. So there we have aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move down and we're going to set up the gear, and we're going to use switch D. So we come down here, click on source, click switch D to quickly select the switch, and that's all we've got to do. Now that's going to be just 100% when it's up. It'll be 100%, 0, minus 100%, and we'll see that's the right thing that we want to do. So now let's turn on the plane and see what happens. Okay, so the ESC seems to be happy that it's getting a signal. We got the telemetry recovered message. That's because we're using one of the X series radios with the 2-way telemetry. And let's see what happens. Let's try aileron. This looks good. Left pulls the left up. Right pulls the right up. Let's try elevator. Now, elevator is backwards. We push the stick forward. We should see the elevator going down. We'll fix that in just a minute. Let's try the rudder. Left, right. That looks good. Let's try the throttle. 0, up to 100, and down to 0. That looks good. Let's try our switch D. And it looks like our landing gear stand-in is doing great. There's the middle position, which of course you wouldn't use for landing gear, but that all looks good. Now let's look back at the elevator, and we need to reverse this channel. So what we'll do is we're going to press exit, and we're going to go and page over to the servo screen, and elevator is on channel 2, so we're going to press enter there, and we're just going to page over to the direction column, and we're going to press enter, and we're going to see that that is inverted. So now when we move the stick, we see that it's acting just as we like. So that's pretty straightforward. What we did is we went and added mixes for each of the 5 channels, even though in the traditional sense they're not mixes of other kind of radios, but we've mixed each of the sticks to the first 4 channels, and we've mixed the switch D to channel 5.